Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Scream Queens review. Today it is Season 2, Episode 8, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, and as always, there will be episode spoilers. So, this episode kind of had its ups and downs. In my opinion, it was pretty much like Scream Queens has been all season. Not that much that was really interesting really happened through most of the episode, and then we got some big reveals at the end. Just an average episode, in my opinion. So it turns out that Wes is back, which was pretty cool. It was nice to see another season one character return. And he's a patient at the hospital. He gives us some info on what he's been up to since he's been gone, although I'm not sure how much of it is accurate once we see the end of the episode. He also says some things about Dean Kathy Munch that aren't very nice, but the rest of his story wasn't that funny or interesting, at least at this point. And there's also kind of an interesting scene about three-quarters of the way through this episode when Kathy and Wes are attacked by the killer, although I'm not sure if that really makes sense based on what happens at the end of the episode. But more on that later. So we also get some scenes with Dr. Holt and Chanel. Their relationship's getting stranger. They're in bed together, and Dr. Holt is seeing visions of Kathy in his head. So this leads to a fight between Chanel Oberlin and Kathy. They're arguing over Dr. Holt. But Hester, of all people, has this idea to set up a dinner party to impress Dr. Holt. I think it's like this 1940s dinner party. It's really strange. Of course, it doesn't go too well. It's pretty much just pointless. It doesn't really add anything to the episode. Gee, what a surprise on that. But it does make Dr. Holt and Chanel Oberlin eventually reconnect and commit to each other. But Dr. Holt also wants to have a thing with Dean Cathy on the side as well. So he's playing it both ways, and I should say he should be careful about that. Probably the most important thing that happened in this episode was Zayday and Chamberlain have another plan to catch the killer. So this ultimately leads to a fight with the killer, who of course escapes. But Zayday gets like a piece of cloth from the costume, I believe. She goes to this creepy shop, talks to this guy who gives her some info. I did like this scene. It was pretty good. So eventually Zayday, not being the smartest character in the world, goes to question Jane, who she pretty much knows is one of the killers. I don't know why she would go and confront her by herself, but it's Scream Queens. You just have to go with it. So of course this doesn't go well. She winds up being drugged and captured at this point. And that's pretty much it up until the end of the episode, where Wes, who's been pretty strange throughout the episode, is confronted by Chamberlain, who tells him some things he probably shouldn't. And now it looks like Chamberlain is a goner, and that maybe Wes is yet another killer. It's a little concerning that they're introducing Wes back into the plot with only 2 episodes to go. But I guess his revenge motive makes some sense. Overall, just another average episode with a pretty interesting ending. And I'm going to give Rapunzel, Rapunzel a 2.5 out of 5. So Scream Queens has me just interested enough to finish off the last 2 episodes. Hopefully we'll get something really good, but we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure where they go from here. So a 2.5 out of 5 for Rapunzel, Rapunzel. And as always, thank you very much for watching.